Welcome back. That's right, we're back. Lightning News Blast tonight on Hammer Away. It is Thursday, almost Friday, which means it's almost headed for midnight. It's just an hour and a half away, a little less than an hour and a half away. And today I was talking with Ron Keel, had a minute to spare with me today to chat on the phone, and let's talk about some stuff. So one of the main things that's happening, and hello, one of the main things that's happening is there's multiple releases coming out via Ron Keel's newest venture, the RFK Media. So he was telling me about some of the singles that are coming out at midnight tonight. These are becoming available. So you can get out there and purchase these. And let's take a look. First of all, let's take a look at some Keel stuff, shall we? So Ron and I kind of go back, personally, we go back to 2004. All right. It reminds me, I forgot one other thing that I was going to grab. And I'm going to grab, oh, you know what? I could grab it from here, but if I have an extra copy, I do. I have an extra copy to show you. So the first thing that I ever purchased, I think that had Ron Keel on it, was Steeler with Yngwie Malmsteen and Rick Fox, and also on drums I had Mark Edwards. So there's the band. I picked this up in Chicago, Illinois, at what was called Rock Records, which was a sister store, if I remember correctly, to Rolling Stones Records in Chicago area up there. More out in the burbs is Rolling Stones Records. I fell in love with that place. And as soon as I stepped inside, it was really, really cool. So that's how it started with me purchasing stuff with Ron Keel. I was familiar with his Keel stuff through MTV, but it wasn't until 2004 when I was at the NAMM show working for St. Louis Music, and I was in the booth, and I guess I'll have to impart to you part of this story. They knew what a big music fan I was when I was working for them. So when we went to Nashville for the NAMM show and I went to work that, then I kept telling everybody who I had seen that day. They're like, "Oh, how you liking it?" And I was like, "I love it." Just musicians all over the place, people to meet, people people you barely know but know of, and some that you don't know but you know of their music. I'll explain that one some other time. So here I was in the booth, hanging out in the booth, and all day long people are like, "How you like the show?" I said, "It's great." You know what? It's walking down the aisle earlier today. Who did I see? And they're like, "I don't know who." And they've been there before. So for me, it's like all brand new. But to them, they didn't know. I said, "I'm walking down the aisle. Here comes Henry Paul right past me." And they're like, "Who?" I'm like, "Henry Paul." "The Outlaws?" They're like, "Yeah, I don't know." I'm like, "Oh." So that had disgusted me all day in its own little geek way, right? So then I'm in the booth and here's this gentleman standing there, looks like a rock star. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" And finally got a view of his badge, and it's Ron Keel. So I stuck my hand out. I said, "I've been a big fan since the Steeler album I bought." And I told him, I said, "But I gotta be honest, I didn't buy any Keel stuff because just too many bands and too little music during college. I just didn't have the money to buy all the different hair metal bands that were happening." So, and other bands, like Maiden. I had to keep up on my Maiden stuff. Then the Shredders started coming in. So I bought Vinnie Moore. Cinderella was out. I bought that. And some other things. So so I didn't buy it. But since then, like I say, it was 2004. At that point, they were putting out their second Iron Horse album. They had the first one out, and the second one was getting released, and he had the band with him there. And Gaetano Nicolosi, who was just on the show a couple of weeks ago, was one of those members of that band. He was the drummer. And so I got to talking with him. He brought a copy of the CD then the next day when I met the rest of the band, Jay Rusnak and Gino Arce and Gaetano. Then I got to meet all of them, and that was a blast. And then he gave me a copy of that. And then I said, you know what? I'd love to do some artwork for you and see what you think. And so I came up with this really cool logo. I'll get that up some other time. But it was really cool. And so he liked it, and they used it on some of the later stuff. And so then we started this relationship, and we started getting to know each other. And subsequently, I've gotten some of their CDs. Still got to get a copy of Lay Down the Law, which was their first album, which when you see that album, you'll notice that the Keel logo is basically a derivative of just these three letters and a K made to fit. So because it was right after that he started that. So Lay Down the Law was the first one. And then there was The Right to Rock and The Final Frontier that I was just showing. And then they had Keel, self-titled Keel. And then Back in Action was great. Love that record. So then he did this country stuff too. He has the country years, Ronnie Lee Keel. So he had two albums there. The Rattlers was part of that too. Then he had given me this, which are some singles, Private Lies, Serenade, The Time of My Life, You Can Have What's Left of Me. So he had burned those and gave those to me there. And so that was really, really cool. Then they were going to put out a new record as Keel. They were reunited. We went out. I flew out to Hollywood. I was already at NAMM out there. And then I flew right back out because I think the company flew me out for that. And then I don't know, that might have been the year I flew out there myself. And so then they were putting out this new record, and it was called The Streets of Rock and Roll, which is the name of Ron Keel's radio show, The Streets of Rock and Roll radio show. So they were going to put that out. And in the meantime, prior to that, he had put this out called Alone at Last, which was a lot of acoustic stuff. It was fantastic stuff. So he had all these photos taken, and he knew what he wanted on everything. And so I talked to him about doing it. Now, he had a gentleman, I believe he said he was in Germany, who had started doing this logo. It didn't work out right, though. It was a little off. And so I said, well, give me a shot at it. So I put this together. That is, just basically it's off of the Keel thing. So it wasn't like a stretch for me, but on that. But it was neat. It was great to work on it and know that's what I did. So I did that and then just put the photos together, and I did the type down there. And then here's the inside of the cover here. And then I had this idea about using tape and made these. I made these guitar picks with the RK logo on it, which was really cool, which was a tattoo he had. So it was just these kind of cool tape pieces. And then somebody was saying that they loved it because it looked like he was throwing the picks. So yeah, it was a great project to work on. He had all these lyric sheets, and then we overlaid them, and I had to cut them and splice them, and then I put his photo ghosted over the top. So that was really cool. It was a neat project to work on. I loved it, and I also worked this up for him as well. This flame logo, worked that out for him, and then after that, then he was putting together a compilation piece, which was going to include stuff from everything. And so he said he wanted to do a leopard skin on the cover, but then also he wanted to change the look from this red, like keel, to a chrome. So I worked this cover up. I don't know if these are still available or not. The funny thing about these, the ones that I have, is that they're backwards. So it's a 2-disc set. There's 1 and 2. So then he needed to do these, he needed to do these collages on here. So I put those together, and we had K on the first one, and or R on the first one and K on the other. But the problem ended up being is that when they manufactured it, they did it backwards. So this is actually the second disc, and this one here is actually the first disc. So they had it backwards. So he went ahead and set me up with those. So this was a great project to work on. I really, really loved doing this. Changing this to chrome, I thought was brilliant, and it turned out looking really cool. And here we go with the classic photo, and then his newer photo, and then came the another big collage of all the different stuff. And you can see that there's Bad Channels up there, which fair game. That was the band that was in Bad Channels. So check that movie out. There's the Steeler stuff and cover stuff he did on an Aerosmith piece, and just all the different stuff that he had done. It was really cool. Yeah, Larger Than Live. That was and there you go. There's the Iron Horse cover to Bring It On. It's right there. And yeah, so it's really good. And there's Lay Down the Law, and you can see the keel logo there that looks like the Steeler logo above it. So really cool. So it was great working with him and getting to know him on this. And then when they were going to put out this new Keel record, then I said I have some ideas and I would love to put it together. Unfortunately, I ended up just not having the time to do it. I was working from home and I had a lot of work to do. So they had another gentleman do the cover. And then but while they were doing it, Gino and I got to talking. Here's the band. There you go. So this was a great piece that got put together without me, because I just didn't have the time. I felt really bad about it. It just happens like that sometimes. And so they were doing that while I was talking. Here's Gino. Gino will be back on the show sometime soon, bass player. I got to talking with him, and I said, man, I'd love to do the cover. I wish I could have, worked that out, because I had this idea of the CD front, the face of the CD, and for the label of vinyl, which ended up happening later, which is right there. And I said, what the CD face and the tray have to be, right? And he goes, what? I said, it's got to be a manhole cover, because it's the streets of rock and roll. So he goes, oh man, that sounds great. I said, well, yeah. And he goes, I said, I'd love to do that. And he goes, well, have you talked to Ron about it? I go, no. And so he goes, "You got to call him." And so I did. And I told him, he said, "How much would it cost to have you do that?" I said, "This much." And he goes, "Why are we still talking?" So I immediately designed it and got it on there. So it was pretty cool. Ooh, Blake, I see what you're saying. I'll be right with you on that. In the meantime, now, he's had the Metal Cowboy release. So check that out. Really cool stuff. And the later on he sent me a couple of copies of these, which I think I have to have them at some point. I'll have to have him sign it. I try not to do that much anymore. He's signed a million things for me already. But there we go. The Alone at Last Deluxe Edition, which has some bonus tracks on it. Then he started up the Ron Keel Band. He did 2 albums with Iron Horse, and they did one more album without him after he had left. So, yeah. So this one, this is Fight Like a Band is the name of this, and this is the Ron Keel Band. There you go. Gino Arce is still in it, but the rest of the guys are different. So there you go. So check that out. It's really, really cool. And then they did this South by South Dakota album as well. So check that out because it's really cool. It's got some great covers on it, including Flirting with Disaster, Train, Rockin' Into the Night, Don't Misunderstand Me. What a great song. That's on that record I was showing you the other day, the Rossington Collins. Ramblin' Man, Red, White, and Blue, Fire on the Mountain, Mama, Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. One of my favorites, and one that we're going to be doing in my band, Homesick by Atlanta Rhythm Section, Ghostwriters in the Sky. And then there's even a live Creedence medley at the end. So check that out, South by South Dakota. See if we can show you the inside here. So there you go. Lots of cool photos of the band. There you go. There's the disc. And I'm trying to see. I think there's a booklet inside as well. It's a great package, though, for one of these digipacks. It's really nice. Plenty of stuff to read, plenty of credits and whatnot, so that everybody gets represented. So that's kind of been our career together. I recently picked up, this is the most recent vinyl that I picked up, was the self-titled Keel album. It's a great record. I love that record. And I love Final Frontier, which the album cover was done by John Taylor Dismukes. We'll talk about him sometime down the line here. I'll get back into doing a show about artists on album covers, because there's so many great artists, and you guys have been looking at it for years. And then here, let's do this little quick dive on this one, and I'll show you guys this is the vinyl version of the artwork that I did. And there you go. Yep. So turned out great. I was really proud of that, and really glad we were able to work that out, because again, as I said, just felt bad not being able to do it. All right, let's move on, shall we? So that's a little history on how Ron and I we met, and then everything blossomed from there, and we've been brothers ever since. The other thing that happened when they put out that new album is they had the reunion show out in Hollywood. So that's what I was saying earlier. I flew on back out, got done with the NAMM show, flew back home, flew right back out, and did that reunion show out there. And that was a blast. Rowan Robertson was there. Chris Holmes was there. Chuck Wright was there. A gentleman from Black and Blue was there, Jamie. And just a great night of music. Ron Keel Viking and cowboy, the most unlikely pairing. That's right. We're both metalheads. Hello, Miss So. And jewel cases suck. You prefer the digipack. I do to a certain extent, but there again, sometimes when you're trying to get those out of the digipack, it starts to pull away, or if it gets too damp, then the plastic starts pulling away from the cardboard. I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. German Steeler, Axel Rudy Pell, American Steeler, Yngwie Malmsteen. Yngwie J. Malmsteen. He doesn't use the J anymore. I guess because everybody knows that it's just him, right? He's the only one. So let's take a look at this. If you the links to these different places to see this are listed down below in the video. So please check out all the Ron Keel places to go. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is go to it. And I'm going to go to his website here and just kind of discuss what it's all about. Ron's got a lot of things going on. He's got a Patreon page. So if you want to go there, the link is down below. There's an online store. If you want to go there, the link is down below. They have all kinds of media stuff. They have clothing things there as well. So do check that out. And mainly start at ronkeel.com. Just start there. All the links are there. It'll take you through everything. All right. So what I'm going to do, let me get back to here, and I want to put a picture up for you. Put some pictures up. All right. So what he's got going on is tonight, this is what's happening. 3 new singles at once. Crashing Wayward, which it gets tough for me. Sometimes I want to, it reminds me of, why can't I say it? I've been saying it the whole time. So anyway, Crashing Wayward, Ron Keel, and The Fifth. Okay. So these are the songs. Stranger Days is coming up tonight at midnight from Crashing Wayward. You can purchase it tonight on the website, and you can also check it out on YouTube. The Last Bottle on Earth by Ron Keel is the single from Ron. Then the single from The Fifth is Starlight. So be sure and check those out. Here's a little closer look. There's Ron, Last Bottle on Earth. There's Stabbing Westward was the other band back in the 90s. They were one of those industrial metal bands that I liked some of their stuff. Crashing Wayward. And there's The Fifth. All right. So let's learn a little bit about this. Let's learn about Crashing Wayward first. And we can see what we've got here. I'm going to go back here. I got to make sure I get to the right spot. It's a little funky. Home. Media. Artists. Here we go. So let's start with Crashing Wayward. All right. And then, so articulate reverence, or let me try this again. Articulate relevance dressed in sharp resonance. Maybe I should have just skipped that altogether, but that's the header for the band. The new modern alternative rock sensation. Anytime a new artist breaks into fresh territory like this, it tends to defy explanation. Terms like new, modern, alternative rock certainly apply, but we're seeing and hearing a much bigger picture here. Crashing Wayward is one of those rare acts with the potential to make musical history, and RFK Media is thrilled to be a part of their ascent. That is a statement by Ron Keel. Crashing Wayward came together in the spring of 2020, just when the world seemed to come to a halt. In that stillness, the band grew restless, feverishly writing emotionally fueled songs of hope, inclusion, and escape. The music on their debut album, Listen, represents a cathartic release, raw in approach, yet refined in tone. lyrically, poetically, lyrically, poetic, and musically illuminating. Crashing Wayward paints a landscape that stretches beyond alternative hard rock and explores the diverse influences of each of its band members. Vocalist Peter Summit. So what I'm going to do is let me put this up real quick here. There you go. That way you can be gazing at that. Vocalist Peter Summit, guitarist Stacy David Blades, and David Harris, bassist Carl Rather, and drummer Sean McKee. The unrestrained passion which fuels the new single Closer provides a perfect introduction to what this band is all about. A hit waiting to happen on an album full of potential singles. Closer will be released in all digital streaming formats on May 19th, accompanied by a powerful new music video directed by Mason Wright. The band's introductory single, Breathe, released digitally by RFK Media on December of 2022, achieved international recognition via Apple's Music Breaking Hard Rock and New in Rock playlists, YouTube's Heavy Gauge playlist, and the barrage of media interviews and radio play, resulting in #1 status on radio stations in US and Canada. All right, so that's a little bit. I'll read this too because it kind of gets into what their style is. Crashing Wayward's live show is powerfully electric and engaging, inviting every audience to journey within a fully immersive experience reminiscent of their most iconic predecessors. Comparisons include Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, U2, and Foo Fighters. So performances in demanding markets such as Nashville, Las Vegas, and Hollywood, headlining as well as opening for national acts, have proven this act is well prepared for the next level. So there you go. Listen by Crashing Wayward was produced by heavy hitter Mike Gillies, whose credits include a long tenure with Metallica as well as studio work with Motley Crue and The Cult. Love The Cult. The album will be available worldwide June 9th on CD and all digital streaming platforms, with the vinyl edition, there you go, to follow later this summer. The CD packaging is a jewel case with a 12-page booklet, including lyrics. All right, so there you go. All righty, all right. Let's get back to this. And here is the album cover by The Fifth. Now, The Fifth were a part of Rockin' Skull. So when I was playing that in 2017 and 2018, they were there. And so that was cool. Roy Cathy is up in the left-hand corner up there. And that is the album cover there. Let's see if I can get this. There's a picture of the band as well. And let me get into that one now too. And talk about The Fifth. I had never heard of them, but they had a big following when we went to see them. When we went and we went and played up there at Rockin' Skull. Sorry, it's getting late. After acclaimed performances on the 2022 Kiss Cruise and their Nashville debut at Keel Fest 2 in March 2023, powerhouse rock band The Fifth is featured on the new RFK Media compilation album Live the Rock Volume 1 with the stellar track Starlight, and is currently in pre-production for their upcoming full-length album release. Fronted by former MCA recording artist Roy Cathy, affectionately known as the Mouth of the South, The Fifth has a potent sound that intertwines classic roots with strands of modern melodic hard rock. After paying dues for over a decade, Cathy and company are putting the pedal down in an all-out push for higher ground. The veteran frontman, first recognized as the vocalist for Cold Sweat, which featured Keel guitarist Mark Ferrari, is joined in The Fifth by guitarist Justin Womble, bassist Jake Tripp, and drummer Gary Zeus Smith. They spit out an acclaimed self-titled EP in 2021, their third release, and are currently immersed in the process of writing the next full-length album. Troy McLaurin, who worked with Evanescence and Seether, is lending his talents as a co-writer on some of the new material. Producer-musician Chris McLaren and Saigon Kick and Roy's bandmate in Cold Sweat has come on board to produce the project. In addition to their Nashville debut at Keel Fest 2 in 2023, tour dates include opening slots for Stryper in July. No strangers to the big stage, the Fifth recently supported Foreigner at Pope Air Force Base, Fort Bragg, and has toured with and or opened for Bloister Cult, Queensryche, Seven Dust, Nickelback, Breaking Benjamin, Kix, Hinder, Tantric, and Saliva. They've also headlined countless bike events and festivals stateside and garnered rave reviews for their 2008 tour of Japan. The band's music has appeared in major TV shows such as Grey's Anatomy, The Voice, and 2016 Summer Olympics. Wow, on NBC. So there you go. So check them out. The Fifth, it's the fifthmusic.com. You can read about that. Roy Cathy also did the vocals, if you guys remember, when I interviewed my buddy Mike Floros from Steel City. He recorded the second record. So here we go. Let me see if we can get to this one. Ron Keel Band. Let's see what we got going on here. Keeled. Okay. All right. I'm just I don't see where I've got my. I'm gonna have to go by the email. So anyway, so that's that. And here is Ron himself. There you go with that cool American guitar. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And here's the album. Or this is the single cover. And there's that guitar right there again for The Last Bottle on Earth. Let me get to this. I know I've got this email that has everything brought up. RFK Media artist Ron Keel has chosen the intimate personal ballad The Last Bottle on Earth as his first single of 2024. The new album, Keel World, promises to combine Keel's 80s metal roots with the melodic rock, southern rock, and this acoustic piece, which he claims is one of the best songs I've ever written. The album features many hard and heavy tracks recorded by the Ron Keel Band, Keel and Steeler. But The Last Bottle on Earth is all Ron, alone, with an acoustic guitar. It's a format that he's become extremely comfortable with the past 20 years, having toured the world as an acoustic artist, and he insists some songs are just better that way. Man, I was tempted to bring the band in this session. I almost threw down a powerful electric guitar solo like Priest Before the Dawn, awesome, which I always thought was so cool. That was Before the Dawn. If you're not familiar with it, is from Hellbent for Leather / the Britain version, Killing Machine. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous tune, which I always thought was so cool. Then I was going to use a string quartet, but that ended up just being one lonely cello track, which I played on the guitar synthesizer. Sometimes less really is more. The song was born when a friend of mine from Sioux Falls, a great guitar player by the name of Dale Hennings, said, "Hey, Ron, we should write a song called The Last Bottle on Earth." See, Dale knows that I like to have a drink now and then. Ron smiles. And I guess he thought we were going to write some rowdy drinking song, but the title just slammed into me like an avalanche. And I took it as a metaphor for life and for real love. I believe in living every moment to the fullest. And while there's still a drop left, I'm going to make it the most of it. The official music video happened in the same way. On a cross-country road trip, I was taking a turn behind the wheel of our RV, and I had the song playing in the stereo. And of course, I was singing along. So my sidekick, Brandon Beck, just started shooting video, found a ghost town in New Mexico, and we decided to shoot outside some old haunted saloon. Stopped for a break in Arizona, looked out at the prairie, and shot some more video. I was going to make a big production video with a girl and a bottle and some kind of concept. But when I saw what we had, I thought it fit the song perfectly and just left it alone. So Keel had been including The Last Bottle on Earth in recent solo acoustic shows, which he's done here in St. Louis, and experiencing the immediate reaction. Fans would send me messages on social media saying, "Hey, we're coming to the show tonight, but we're running late. Don't play that Last Bottle song until we get there." And then people started asking me if they could use it as a wedding song, which is really special. So I went ahead and finished the session quickly so they could play it. Ron emphasizes the new album, Keel World, will deliver plenty of full band tracks with thunderous drums, blazing guitars, and screaming vocals, and that Last Bottle on Earth is an outlier. From anthems like the opening track, Heart on the Outside, Heart on the Inside, to the songs from other projects like Keel and Steeler, Keel World promises to cover the vast musical landscape that has become the home for Ron Keel. And we did end up with a rowdy drinking song called Weekend with My Friends, which sounds like if Van Halen was from Texas. So I think we covered all the bases, and he smiles again. All right. So the 2024 Keel World Tour kicks off at the Whiskey in Hollywood, California on April 6th. I wonder if I need to see if I can get out there for that. And we'll take him coast to coast across the U.S. and into Central America and South America. Colombia and Brazil in May. Pretty cool. Dang. So much information, guys. I hope I didn't put you to sleep with that. Just all that information. It's pretty cool. Let's see if we got anything else here. I think that's about it. All right. So midnight tonight, which is really just less than an hour away. I mean, there is no way I'm talking all the way through to then. But you never know. So I talked about all of that. Now, I think I talked about doing an unboxing. I also talked about doing, earlier tonight too. I wanted to let you know about this band. If you're into the metal stuff, and you want to check this stuff out, as I was mentioning, I'm going to be doing these shows with Bethany, and we're going to be talking about female artists. So one of them that I just was checking out, which I like it. It's just, it's one of those really, some of it can be really fast. So like when Dragon Force does that fast stuff, I don't really like it. It's just too much. I'm just like, okay, that's too much. But these ladies, it's an Asian band, all females, called Love Bites. So check that out. Formed in 2016 in their native Japan. Love Bites is an all-female power metal outfit heavily influenced by metal masters of the West in their musical style. So check it out. Pretty cool. But yeah, that's one of these bands that I'll be mentioning when Bethany and I are doing our shows based on that stuff. I need to send you a list of female, please. Yeah. Because my love of female artists goes from Love Bites, another band similar that sounds different. They don't sound the same. They sound different, but still punchy and hard. Is Bandmade. Love that band. That is a great band. Then there's a new one, a young group. Well, there's another younger group called Plush. They're pretty cool. But there's another one, The Warning. Check out The Warning. They're kick-ass too. I mean, it's like I've said it before. I'll say it again. Women, whenever there's been men in the past that are like, women can't do this, and you're like, don't do that. we all know that women have tons more passion than we do as men. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just true. It's just the way it is with being able to, give birth, all these, different aspects of their world. Not that I understand it. I don't. But I do know that they go through stuff we don't go through. And there's a lot of passion in there. And it's just, I don't understand whoever thought that women couldn't completely kick ass in a rock band. And then even further into a metal band. I don't get it. So anyway, I told you I was going to talk about this tonight. I went to the thrift store tonight real quick, dropped off a gift for my buddy, Jeff from Go Game Go. And then I stopped by this shop and I saw this puzzle. I got a few things, but I saw this puzzle and it's so cool because oddly enough, I was just talking about horse lips, but I found this puzzle. Look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? It's the 4 horses of the apocalypse. I just was like, man, put this together. Look at this though. 1,500 pieces, 24 by 33. Woohoo, mommy. So that's a lot. It's these little pieces. So that's going to be, but yeah, I'll be putting that together. Look at that. It's look at this zippered bag. I would assume, I don't think it came like that. I think somebody probably bought this bag and put it in there. God forbid all the pieces aren't here. Can anybody count those? Is there 1,500 pieces there? We'll find out. I'll be putting it together and I'll be taking pictures and some video for you guys. We'll video this because I can't wait to put this up on the wall. Put it together, and because there's no fargan way I'm ever going to do it again. That ain't happening. All right. So when you're, when you go to the thrift store, one of the cool things you can find is something that's brand new, right? Still in the wrapper, and just got dropped off. So this was about half price. I went ahead and got it. There are, how many are in here? Is there 25 of them in here or something? Where does it say? Isn't that weird? It doesn't say. Anyway. Oh, 40. Okay. There you go. Laminating pouches. I'm like, whoa, there's like a thing of laminating pouches. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I remember them, I think they can be anywhere from $11 to $15 for a pack, but these were about half that price. So that was cool. So we got those. Then also I have a Nintendo Switch, and this is an old camera bag that my father-in-law had, and I inherited that. And so I was putting my stuff in there. So I've got my whole Switch set up in there, but take a look at this. Be ready. You're going to be jealous. I know you will. How about that? The Super Mario backpack. It's one of those things you look at it and you're like, no, I don't. Look how sparkly. Woo. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's got artwork around the edge. I'm such a freaking geek. So then right there by it, so then I'll put my Switch stuff in here. So that way I can just take it with me wherever I go. But if you unzip it, this was something else that I found there. Some lights. My dad, many years ago, did a project where he built out of sheet metal, because my grandfather used to get sheet metal to use around his area, his house. And then he cut a star, and then he put these lights poking through it. So he's got like the Star of Bethlehem. So it's kind of cool. Then they had this, which I noticed was about half price when they did this. And also, hey guys, every yellow, see it's got a yellow, all yellow label stuff was 25% off. So this is a Ninja coffee and spice grinder. How about that? Compatible with Auto IQ. I don't know what that means. I don't know. But look what else they had hanging there. So I picked it up too, because I figured I could put all the little sundry items in there. The accoutrement. Look at that. A bag. Look at that. That's adorable. So yeah. So I can put all the small stuff in here and then put it inside here. Some things I can't show because I did find some apparel stuff that I'm going to be using for other things. But I can show you this one because it's so bitchin'. So bitchin'. And I just had to buy it for myself. Like I need another Fargan shirt. I don't. Look at that. Is that cool? Tijuana. Look at that snake. That's really bitchin'. Love it, love it, love it. So yeah, just a few bucks for that. And see, it's a yellow tag, so cheaper. Seemed like there was one other thing that I got, but I guess not. I guess that's oh, I know what it was. I did get these. I don't know if anybody else enjoys a bed that sits up high, but they had these. And these were like half price, so they had all 4 of them. So I picked those up. I got 2 sets of those. So anyway, that's enough of that. And an unboxing. Shall we do an unboxing? And then I'll get rolling here. All right, so we'll get out the equivalent of the tickle trunk for this channel. While I'm doing this, though, let's see. Ms. So is mentioning. Don't always understand us. Yeah. 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 Well, yeah. It's a challenge, right? It's a challenge. Yeah, the puzzle's going to be fun as long as I can get it done. I'll get it done eventually. Brother Joe! After midnight, we were going to all hang out. That's right. That's it. See what I mean? See what I mean? Stasha, what's up? What's Stu doing on so late? I just, you got to do what you got to do when you can, right? So good to see everybody here. Thanks for popping in. So, let's see here. I'm going to hit the button and we will get this thing open. And then I have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so give me a number. 1, 2, or 3. Just type it in real quick. Anybody? 1, 2, or 3. It's the Doors, right? I feel like I'm on the. Let's make a deal. Okay. Oh, we got a 2 first from Miss So. All right. So, but we got 2 3s. Oh, what? All right. I'll go with number 3, and then I'll do the number 2 the next time. Since I got 2 votes for 3, got to kind of go with the majority vote, right? Otherwise, what good is that? Oh, I didn't even. You see, these are the 3 things. I don't know what they are. It's been so long. I don't know what they are. So I will open it and we'll see what it is. And then I'll let you all get going and I'll get myself to bed. Feels like, oh, shoot. I think y'all are going to be wishing you were getting this package yourself. Wow, cool. I was wanting to watch this the other day. It's a couple of discs. There we go. Tommy on Blu-ray. I haven't seen this in so long, and of course, it doesn't have her on here. But Tina Turner, we just lost Tina Turner, and she's the acid queen. There she is, the acid queen. Pinball Wizard. Who can tell me who was going to be the Pinball Wizard before Elton John and recorded a version of the song that exists? You can hear it out there. Anybody? See if anybody knows. Who knows? And look at this, the 25th anniversary limited edition, The Wall. Never seen Miss So. You've never seen Tommy. That's good. It's good. I mean, it's weird, you know. Um, so this is the 25th anniversary. Let's see, directed by Alan Parker, starring Bob Geldof. Original film presented in high definition, widescreen. Includes The Other Side of the Wall, an exclusive documentary on the making of the film, and retrospective interviews with Roger Waters, Alan Parker, and what is that? Gerald Scarfe, and more. Includes the original poster. What? Wow. So cool. Neat, neat, neat. I've been waiting for that. Didn't know Tina was in it. Yeah. Yeah. The Acid Queen. Oh, she's lots of close-ups. She does that. She has that awesome lip thing she does. You'll love it. Yeah, nobody's got a guess as to who else was gonna play it and recorded the Pinball Wizard. Don't we all? I'm getting ready to do one of her tunes. Well, I don't think she wrote it, but she recorded it and had a hit with it. What's Love Got to Do with It? Even had the movie about her was named it. Yeah. Does anybody remember? Yep, there it is. JWD popped in for the win. Look at that. It was Rod Stewart. That's right. That is right. When I rocked and rolled and collected a few musical arts artist autograph, they mean a lot to me. Yeah. Oh wow. I was just over in KC. Are you over in KC? I was just at KC. I just talked about the Vinyl Underground. Have you ever been there to that record store? It's a great store. I picked up great stuff. They're still all right there in the bag. I haven't gotten them all logged in yet. But yeah, Vinyl Underground up there. It's on the Missouri side of Kansas City because we went over the state line road to get to it from Kansas to get over to it. And yeah, if you haven't been there, go there, man. It's great. You gotta have a lot of if that's where you are, Brother Joe. If that's where you are, then you've got a cool up there in Overland Park area. You got a cool hive of different shops up there. I was kidding around. I was like, oh yeah, you could take a bottle of your favorite stuff and a shot glass, do a shot, go to the store, do a shot, go to the next store, do a shot, and just go all the way around. I like Rod's cover of What Made Milwaukee Famous. I don't know that. I don't know that one. But yeah, Rod Stewart. Thank you for telling us that. I'm glad you got that. So I think that's about it for tonight. I need to let you guys get to it. I'm sure you have either sleep or other things to do. I know I have sleep to do, so I can get up early in the morning and take a shower. I was going to do that tonight, and I'm not going to do it. So, all right. So enjoy the rest of the week, which is tomorrow, and then enjoy your weekend. And then I'll be back. I'm going to be making some calls. I got a call from a friend of mine today. It was kind of rock and roll time this afternoon. I was talking with Ron Keel when Mili Matijevich from Steelheart gave me a call. And I had to call him back real quick. And but he'll maybe be doing an interview with me this month. I think he's probably going to be one of the interviews I do this month. And then, like I said, Chip's Enough by the end of the month. And next month, I already know that we're going to have Toby Jepson from the Wayward Sons is going to be back on the show. And when I say back on the show, he had been on it before when I was on Go Game Go, when I was doing that through there. So, but now that it's its own channel, Miss So, you'll be up till 3 a.m. Yeah. I used to do that. Metal covers album tribute to Rod called Forever Mod. Awesome. I'll have to look that up. That sounds cool. Two songs that I love that are covered in a metal format: "Wind Beneath My Wings" by Sonata Arctica, and the last thing I'll mention is um, just "Easy Lover" by Jaded Heart. Okay, I'm sorry. One more. Dominion did a version of "Don't Pay the Ferryman" by Krista Berg. So check that out. Not to mention Ozzy's "Staying Alive." That one was crazy. That one was crazy. So anyway, all right, folks. Well, again, have a great weekend. Remember, when you step outside your door, you're in everybody else's world. They're not in yours. So be cool. Don't drive in the passing lane. Uh, help somebody out. You know, if somebody's needing help with something. I just was able to help a gentleman out the other day at the store. That just always feels good when you know you're not alone, when people are helping you out. So step in if appropriate and help out. Makes the world better. It does. It does. And understand that sometimes people just are having a day, but it doesn't excuse everything. We just have to know where to come from. All right, guys. Thank you again for being here tonight. It was great to see you guys and having these awesome things to say. And Miss So, enjoy your 3 o'clock hour. Let me know when you get to that. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. And we'll see you on Wednesday. And we'll find out soon whether or not I'll have a guest for that.